Welcome to another video in a series of videos about a program launch preview that I have planned for right around June of 2024. As I said, this is the third video in this series. So if you're seeing this video first, I have a playlist on the YouTube channel, and you can go back and watch them sequentially to get more of an idea of what the program's actually like that I'm trying to offer. First of all, I want to say hello again. My name is John R. Clay. I'm not a junior, but I have a different middle initial than what my father had, so I like to go by that. It kind of helps with a little bit of the confusion from time to time. My goal in this whole program is to help you become successful in the U.S. stock market. Now, there's a lot of people that have that claim out there. You can take $100 and turn it into $1 million in a month with no risk. Well, that's not what I'm teaching here. What I'm trying to really develop in each person that becomes involved are the skills so that they can do it themselves. There's the old saying that says, if you give a man a fish, you fed him for a day. If you teach him to fish, you fed him for life, because then he can do it himself. That's pretty much my approach with this whole thing. Now, I hope if you become involved in this program that we have a relationship that extends many years into the future, and we kind of get to know each other and maybe even become friends. But the bottom line is, if you learn what I have to offer in the program and all of a sudden I'm not here anymore, something happens, you'll still be able to carry on anyway. So you can take what you've learned, and then you've been able to internalize that and make it your own. And now you have a skill that you can use and possibly even teach to other people yourself. But I want to help you become successful. Now, that doesn't mean one investment, a home run, and everything just happened to work out. That's more gambling. What I'm trying to do is remove as much of the probabilities as possible in this whole program. There's always probabilities, no matter what's happening. You have probabilities walking down the street that you're not going to get to where you're going safely. Now, the probabilities might be low, but they're still there. Well, what I want to do is get into an environment where our probabilities of failure are low. We're not always going to succeed. We're not always going to be right, but we're going to be right a lot more than we're wrong, and we're going to have more consistent success, so that when we are wrong, it's not going to blow us apart. We can just say, okay, that's just the way it works sometimes, and we move on to the next one. I have about 30 years of experience in the financial markets, and I've said this in each video. I started in the early to mid 90s, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know a stock from a bond. I didn't know anything about technical analysis. I didn't know how the markets actually worked. And I just started to learn about it, read about it, and pretty much taught myself what I know. Went to some seminars that eventually evolved into webinars, and just found that, hey, I really kind of like this stuff. I think it's pretty interesting. One of the nice things about the market is, until, well, we'll have to always see how the future goes, but if we don't have a stock market anymore, we don't have a country anymore, and money isn't really going to matter anymore. So this is one of those neat things where you can get really involved in it for a while and then maybe take a break for a period of time and then come back to it, and it's still there. And it's becoming more and more efficient. With technology, we have information available to us that pretty much everybody else has at around the same time. And another reason for using technical analysis is we can know all the information about what's going on by just looking at the charts. And this is what I've developed over the 30 years of really studying and being a participant in the financial markets. And then I have about 40 years of experience as an educator, and that's my real passion. My desire is to teach you, and it's not to tell you what to think or what to believe. It's to give you the skills so that you can go out and then do this for yourself. And then this video is actually being recorded on April 29th, 2024. I had recorded this a few weeks back, and there was some construction noise going on, so I had to stop, and then I got busy doing other things. So the program that I have is basically made up of a membership, and this is the name of the company. Now, it's a company that I'm still in the process of forming. So if you try to Google this or something, you're not going to really find anything except maybe an empty website. But it's called Intrepid Educational Services. Intrepid is just pioneering, going into new areas. One of the space shuttles was called Intrepid. And that's where I came up with the idea for this name. And it's an educational service to try to teach you some things. And I like to offer what I think is a comprehensive educational program where if you're an absolute beginner, this is for you. In fact, you probably at an advantage. But if you've been doing this for a while, this program can also be for you. I'm learning new things all the time. I'm constantly doing research and reading books and looking for other ways of being able to present information and doing studies that I really didn't think about before. So it's a never-ending process. And that's what I like about it, because it just gives us more insight along the way. Then a membership is available to you to become more successful, whether you're an investor, that's more long term, or a trader, that's more short term, in the US stock market. And that's what I focus on. If you're from another country, I focus on the US stock market. And I know some of you that watch the videos that I put up each day, you are from other countries, but you may also be involved in the US stock market. It's the biggest and most robust market. China is kind of coming along, but they're way behind as far as everybody playing on a flat, fair playing field. Where, yeah, there's manipulation that goes on in the stock market. That's kind of how capitalism works. I mean, it's supply and demand, but it's the most established. And for a person who just wants to get involved, it's a pretty fair area to get involved in. Then the cost for the program will be $97 a month. And back in the first video, I explained how there's actually a way that you can take care of that. If you know some people who may be interested in the program, for every month that they are an active member in good standing, half of your $97 would be credited to you if you get two people. Now you're in the program for free. And there's some other things that I hope to launch down the road that I don't really want to talk about too much yet, other than maybe at the idea stage in another video, where you could basically build this whole program with not putting any of your own money at risk. But $97, for some, that's going to be pretty high. And you might balk at that. For others, it's like, what? It could be a lot higher than that. This is a number that's stuck in my head literally for years, and it just is always there. So it's what I'm deciding to go with. And it's an educational opportunity, and this is an educational service. I am not a licensed broker or financial professional of any kind, and I never want to be. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not trying to get you to buy some stock. I'm not trying to sell you a product per se. I'm trying to present an environment where you're giving education. And I am a licensed and experienced teacher, instructor, and trainer. I've been a certified teacher for 40 years, and I've taught in the classrooms. I've taught all different ages. I've taught very young children all the way up to college level. I was also a Microsoft certified trainer, so I've been in some high-tech environments as well. I've taught in areas of music, and I've been a sports coach for basketball and for baseball. I've also really involved in music, and I've done a lot of teaching in that area as well. So I have a wide variety of experience and interests that I can bring to you and hopefully present this in a better manner that's more suited to you. But just know that I cannot give you specific investment advice. I'm not licensed to do that. And I wouldn't do that anyway. And I would say I'm legally and morally not allowed to do this. I don't want to screw anything around. I don't want to tell you to do something, and then if you feel that I led you down the wrong path, now you're angry, and I don't want to be put in a situation where I say things that I may have wished I had not said. So, and plus I can't do that. I can actually get into trouble for that. We can discuss things back and forth, but ultimately all decisions will come down to you. I may give you some ideas, and you may say, yeah, I like that idea. I'm going to take it and make it my idea. Or you look at that idea and go, I don't really like that. I'm going to pass on this idea. It's not really for me. I do, however, offer you the knowledge and exposure to different opportunities that you may not have known were available to you. And one of the big things that folks don't realize is, yeah, you can make money when the market goes up. That's when you buy low and sell high. And that's pretty easy for folks to understand. Where it gets a little confusing is you can also make money when the market goes down. Over the years, I've actually had my best profitable positions when the market goes down, because it can take a long time for it to go up, and then something happens and we can go down really fast and pretty severe at times too. And you can actually make some profits that way. And there are some things in the program that I offer that teach you different ways that you can do that. It can be more conservative, it can be more aggressive in the approach that you take. We can also make money when the market's chopping sideways. There are ways to benefit from that. So you can take advantage of any kind of an environment. And that's why I put such heavy emphasis on the daily videos and analyzing where we're at right now. We use that to determine what kind of strategies we're going to implement. And that helps to give a very high success rate and a very good, consistent profitability rate as well. And then we can also implement compounding as you're building these positions up, and just knowing where we're at with things instead of just, rolling the dice or buying that lottery ticket. You're actually putting a plan into effect. And some folks don't even know the opportunities that they have available to them. There's also ways that you can protect yourself. So maybe you've spent all of your life building up a portfolio and we hit some difficult times and the market's really going down. There are things that you can implement that act as pretty much like insurance. So you'll still have losses in your investments, but what you can implement will replace what you lost in those investments. So you end up pretty much breaking even for the most part. And I teach about that in the program. So the goal is for the member to be better informed about current market conditions. And I found it's day by day by day. Intraday, it's too fast. There's too much noise. Once a week, it's too slow. Too much happens during the week. I found that a day in and day out evaluation works best. And then from that, you can be exposed to existing opportunities for both growth and safety as well. And so a membership can also help you work closely with a certified professional that you may be working with now. I'm not trying to come in and replace your broker or replace your CFP, or if you do work with somebody, I want to augment that so that when you meet with them, you can ask questions, maybe challenge them a little bit. You're paying them to manage money on your behalf. It would probably be to your benefit. It would definitely be to your benefit if you were more armed with information, because they have a lot of people that just don't know what they're doing. So the professional kind of just does it and then just tells you what they did. Why not be able to respond to emails or call them up with a question, or maybe, say, well, what did you do that for? Based on my analysis, you should have done something different. So it just arms you, and you know better what questions to actually ask them when you do meet with them. And then it can also help you if you're a longtime investor. Maybe you've been around for decades doing this and you just enjoy it. You get a real thrill out of paying attention to what goes on in the stock market. You have some investments. Maybe you do some index investing like in the S&P, which is really what I focus on. Maybe you have some individual investments, but ultimately you like to make your own decisions. Well, I have a lot of information, and some of this may be beneficial to you, and you can implement that and turn it into your information. Risk, safety, and protection. Everybody's different, and everybody has a different mentality. And of course, everybody wants to get rich without doing any work. Okay, we can all pretty much share that desire, but that's not real life. When you go in and buy a lottery ticket, yeah, there's a chance you'll win, but the probability is not very high that you're ever going to do that. But people still put their hope in that anyway. That's what makes them so popular. Other folks are really conservative. They're really leery. And what I'm just going to say this as I'm going through it and thinking about it. Make me prove myself to you. That's why I have a pretty liberal trial period. I try to be very approachable. You can get in touch with me by leaving a comment, or I have an email address. Or if you want to set up a time for us to talk, make me prove myself to you and just see if you feel that I'm legit with what I'm trying to give to you as far as information, because everybody is different. Some folks, they want to take risks. Others who are very conservative and just want to protect what they have, and they're okay with getting lower returns, but they want to do it in a safer manner. And in the program, we learn about risk, and then the other opportunities that you can explore. And some of these you'll really like and you'll latch onto. Others you'll say, no, that's not for me. And this helps you to tailor it to you. You can define your own risk levels and risk tolerance. As I've said over and over again, the S&P 500 can be as exciting and as risky as you want it to be. You can get into some E-mini contracts or futures contracts. Man, talk about cutting edge excitement. Or it can be very long term, where you do more passive investing and you're mainly using mutual funds or something like that, or some ETFs that you don't really change all that often. This can be tailored to you. Instead of you trying to be tailored to me and to what I'm presenting, I'm trying to give you information to help build yourself. Many investors, especially those that are nearing retirement, you become more concerned with protecting what you already have. And I have mentioned that before. There are ways that a lot of people don't know about. And I even did a video almost a year ago that you can find on the YouTube and Rumble channels that talks about that, where you can hedge your positions so that if things do go wrong, it's like insurance or a backup system. And if things go against you, and for whatever reason, you want to protect what you really have right now, that's more important to you than actually seeing more capital gains, or rather than actually seeking growth. And there's a real admirable trait in wanting to be able to do that. And I do teach you to do it. And there's no conspiracy that's keeping this from you. The information's out there. It's not some group of people that know this super secret inside thing to do. I learned about it and I implement it. So it's just that people, for whatever reason, don't know about it, because most folks are geared towards buy low, sell high, thinking that's the only thing they can do, when there's a whole other just a arena full of opportunities that can go beyond that as well. So the courses that I have will show members how to use very useful tools that can be used to reduce or even eliminate risk. Think of it like insurance. If you pay more for insurance, then you don't have a deductible. If you want to pay less for that insurance, you're probably going to have a deductible. So you're going to take a bit of loss at the beginning. Also, it's possible to enhance returns by producing income. For 20 plus years ago, I did this for a living. I was generating monthly income by doing this. Now, you may not want to do that, but there may be some of you who would consider doing that. And, or maybe this is one of the reasons I come up with for this is maybe you're married and have a family and you're a little bit concerned that both you and your spouse have to work all the time. Okay, because we just have to do that in today's economy. What if you could bring one of the spouses home, but still have them contribute financially to the family? So they're there when the kids get home from school, or they're there on the weekends and they have a more stable schedule. What if you want to get out of debt? What if you want to start a business? What if you want to get more education? These things may be possible. I'm not saying they're going to happen, but the goal behind my program is to let you think about those things and possibly even dream a little bit about those things, and seeing, okay, yeah, it'd be nice to be out of debt, pay off the mortgage, know that the kids are going to have a nice Christmas. And there's this business idea that I've always had, and maybe this will allow me the opportunity to be able to do that. So some additional benefits. And I put this in quotes up here: access to an exclusive and private Facebook group. It's probably going to change. I tried starting a Facebook group. It just really hasn't taken off, and I may develop into something else. And this provides more up-to-the-minute information, where I'm going to have something where I pretty much keep it open all the time, and then you can ask a question or make a comment, and then other people, including myself, can respond to that. Just talking about maybe an economic report that came out or something that's happening, that we can kind of stay in touch with what's going on. Then if there's course information, and I'm going to do another video that talks about the courses that I have. Anytime I do an update, or maybe I'm re-recording the whole thing, or maybe I'll do an online live session or an in-person live session, just information that needs to go back and forth, and then any other news that's considered worthy of note. And this is basically just a way for us to be able to communicate with each other. and then access to a community where you can ask questions. You can ask me questions. Maybe someone else will chime in with an answer. You can seek those answers. You can review the things that you've already done, and you can possibly get some ideas for future opportunities as well. So it's kind of a think tank in that regard. So thank you. I hope you found this helpful and gives you a little bit more insight about my program. I'm going to record another video right after this that talks a little bit more about the courses that I have to offer. So have a really good day, and I'll talk to you in the next video.